For those of you that don't know me, I'm Timothy Depp. I'm the current president of Greater Dayton OREIA, and I want to welcome you, if you don't know me, if you're not a member, to our organization for tonight. We have a great speaker for the second half. We have some great speakers for the first half too, but it's not Jim Butler, our representative as it was, published. So what we're going to do is we had a day at the Capitol. Who all went to the day at Capitol? Anybody can make it? All right. We're going to have a recap of what actually happened the day at Capitol that happened on May 29th. So if you could give Marcia, Sean, and Torrance a welcome to talk about it.
Okay, anybody that wasn't there, you missed it. We had a great time. I'll let Sham and Torrance talk about it. We got to meet our representatives and our senators up close and personal, let them know what we were interested in, our views on some of the laws that are going through the different committees. We also learned that most of the work is done in the committees instead of actually on the floor like you see on movies or TVs. So, Sham?
Thank you. Okay, for those who don't know how legislative efforts work from our organization, we're one of the 12 local associations in Ohio that are under Ohio Legislative Investment Association. We call it OREIA, and the website is OREIA.com. The two major things OREIA does, their main purpose of existence is fight legislation that will hurt us. We're protecting our industry. Some of these legislators, they just think of some bright idea, next thing you know, they write a bill, it goes to the committees and they vote it on, and we got, in the last 10 years, we have stopped 150 bills from moving forward that could have really hurt us. And this is the way the procedure works. I'm on the legislative committee for GDV along with Marcia here. And we also have a legislative committee at the Ohio OREIA level, which there are about 6 or 7 people. And we have a legislative director for OREIA, Dan Acton. Is he going to be here today? Okay, Dan Acton.
He will be our speaker in August.
Correct. So his whole job is to work with the lobbyist. OREIA had hired a lobbyist probably the last 12, 13 years, would you say?
Almost longer, but yeah.
And that's the biggest expense that OREIA has. We pay them $4,000 a month, is that correct? $48,000 a year is just to retain the lobbyists. The good news about that is, even though they cost us $4,000, it's worth every penny. Here's why. They have a staff of 7 people, and they are in touch with every legislator, every senator in the Ohio House and Senate. They know them personally, okay? And most of the time when they're thinking about drafting a legislation, they usually contact them, hey, this has to do with housing, and you guys are in the housing industry, this is what we're thinking about, what do you think?
We have found over the years it's much easier to get something stopped while it's at the committee level. It's almost impossible to change something once it gets signed into law. So we really work a lot behind the scenes with the committees to shape the legislation to benefit us, or at least not hurt us.
Now the gentleman that was supposed to be here today is our representative from this area, Jim Butler, and he had some committee meeting come up in Columbus. He had to stay back and he could not make it here today. The purpose of his visit here was have him come and get to know us before we need him. That's the way you work with the legislators. You get to know them when they're getting elected. Get to know them, go meet with them, whatever you need to do, get to know them. That when the issue comes up, I usually communicate with them on Facebook, Messenger. Hey, this is what's going on in Ohio House, and our members don't like it. And they can, we'll take care of it. But again, it's more than that. It first got to go through Dan Acton, who's our legislative chair, and our lobbyists. We call them a Government Policy Group, GPG. They've been there for a long time. They don't only represent one association like OREIA, they represent many other trade associations. A lot of times we work together to form a coalition. That way we can go together against something or for something. It doesn't matter which way. And the way OREIA survives is each association per membership, we pay $25 to OREIA for their budget.
When you pay your dues to us, $25 out of that goes to OREIA every year. And we pay from what you pay us.
And the next big thing they do is they have one annual convention in November. First week of November, second weekend of November, 4-day convention. As a member of GDREA, you can go to the convention for less than $200 for all 4 days. That is where we bring national speakers, and they stand in line to get in to speak because that's one of the best conventions in the country.
It's the biggest real estate convention in the country
And
every
when
year.
they sell product, most of the speakers have a product or a service they sell to our members so they can improve their business. And every time they sell a product, OREIA gets a cut. After all the expenses are done and distributed and all that stuff, what is left over is split between OREIA and the convention organizers. That usually gives us somewhere between $20,000 to $40,000. And with our membership dues combined with it, they have just enough money to get by on their budget to do the legislation. So that you know.
Let's go back to last Wednesday. Last Wednesday was great in that the organizers of the event got the legislators to come in and talk to us as a group, one-on-one. Well, not one-on-one, but with us, with the group. They got to know us. We would talk with them back and forth, ask them questions, and they got to see us, get to know us, and know our concerns. Torrance went for the first time.
He went there first time.
And Torrance, what did you think of the whole day?
It was very exciting. It was my first time going, and to be able to see the legislators and they talk to us. It was one bill in particular, the land contract bill. They're trying to stop us from doing land contracts, which would definitely hurt our business. And we stood up and talked to them and voiced our concerns and opinions about it. And hopefully that bill does not pass.
Well, we're making every effort to do that.
You're going to stop land contract?
Yeah, they want to make land contracts illegal,
It's
and we
somebody-
are really in,
What's the rationale?
it's taking advantage of people.
Some private investors in Youngstown area, they want to put us out of business so they can do the business themselves. So they bought into a couple of legislators and they introduced the bill. It passed the Youngstown legislation, city, and now they took it to the state. And we are making a big effort to stop that in its tracks. We will stop them. We're very confident we will stop them.
What would they do about existing land contract?
We don't
They'll be
know.
grandfathered in.
We hope they would be grandfathered, but we don't really know.
And it's still ongoing, or?
Yeah, it's
In
still
the
in
committees.
discussion in the
In
committees.
the committees there, so there's going to be a lot of discussion. It's not going to be moving.
We're told it's dead in the water, but we haven't seen it on paper yet.
Well, the legislators are proposing that they're being talked to by other legislators that we know. So if you, any one of you, know your local legislator or a senator in the Ohio House, please stay in touch with them. Get to know them personally before you need them. The process becomes so easy. Now, just going back to this, why we have a day on the Capitol is what we call it. Every organization, National Association of Realtors, just 3 weeks ago, I was in DC for a week, and they had 9,000 people, leaders from all over the country. They went back to this Capitol, and every state representatives met with their senators. We had a one-on-one, an hour discussion with Senator Portman, and also we have an hour discussion with Senator Brown, and we met Mike Turner for another 30 minutes, and then we also met David.
Congressman Davidson.
Yeah, Mr. Davidson. We met with them, so our Ohio delegation met with the senators. Each city leaders went and met their congresspeople from that area. We do it, Ohio Realtors had the same thing at the state capitol about 3 weeks ago, did the same thing. Every organization has their leaders go and fill the ears of these senators of the things they like and they don't like. It doesn't matter what. That way you're staying in touch with them. That's the whole purpose. Last time we did this was 3 years ago, and we have not done, and we made a commitment, what we're going to do it every year. That way these people will hear from us.
We had 64 people there throughout the state. And we all went into the Senate chambers and we were introduced and we all stood up. And it made quite an impression when 64 people stand up in unison in the Senate chambers that these are people who are in the real estate investing business. It made their people sort of sit back and take a look at us.
So if you ran into them in public somewhere, what's a good approach to?
Okay, and this was one of the things we got is training on how do you get to know your thing. And they were saying, always go up and just introduce yourself, your name, you know, where you live, just hi. And then if you can, do like a thank you type thing. Never meet them the first time with an ask or a complaint. Make it a positive gesture. First impression is a positive impression. Then if you have an issue that you want to take to them, then that's a second or a third. But never make it your initial visit. So, and especially in the summer, they're very often home, they're around here. Go stop by, you can go on their website and see when they're going to be in their office. Stop in their office and just say hi. 2 minutes.
Is there an office around here?
Yeah, in downtown Dayton.
Yeah, they all have offices around here. 2-3 minutes, don't, you know, you're not taking up a lot of their time, just to say hi, who you are, where you live, you know, what you do, and that's it.
And Portman and Brown, they'd be in Columbus, I guess. They're all.
Portman's out of Cincinnati. Brown, I don't know where he
Cleveland. He's
lives.
from Cleveland area. He's from Cleveland.
Davidson's down around.
Warren Davidson from Butler County.
County, yeah, down around Middletown.
Butler County area.
So, but just stop in their offices and say hi this summer. You let them know who you are. If you got a business card, leave a business card with your name and get to know them.
Another thing you can do is, usually most of these legislators have some kind of fundraising in their communities, or they go to some festivals in their community.
That's July parade.
Oh, parades, there you go.
Labor Day
Get
parade.
moving with that. I mean, for example, 3 years ago when Jim Butler was running, Dan Acton told a bunch of people, listen, you know, he wants some people to march for him at the Centerville parade. And I wore his t-shirt and walked with them.
So did
They
I,
never
and it was
forget.
in the rain.
They won't forget that.
And it was a long walk, and I thought sure they'd have, be able to have a shuttle to take us back to our cars. No, I had to walk back too. But, yeah, they, any of them, no matter what your affiliation is, they do have stuff that they like to come out, they like to see a lot of people.
And Todd Smith is one of the new senators from Portlandsville area. And I get to be friends with them. If they're having a campaign, give them $10. I tell them, hey, I'm from GDDIA, I'm a member of GDDIA, here's your donation for you. That's
You
personal.
hand it right to them?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can.
you can do that. So you get to be on their corner, so they remember you the next time. Oh, you're from GDDIA. So this guy in
It's amazing how little money makes an impression with
You
them.
can write a check with your name and everything.
You can
It
do
needs
that
to be
too.
private donations.
Yeah.
We, GDDIA cannot write them a check. We
But
get-
anyway, I don't want it to monopolize the entire time up here, but we did have a great time going over there. We got there about 9 o'clock. We got to come home about 3:30 in the afternoon, beat the Columbus rush hour traffic. And I think we made an impression. And we got to also meet with the other, I mean, there was 4 of us. We got to meet with the other OREIA members who are interested in legislative issues. I think I've got a speaker I'm going to be bringing in this fall sometime that I met over there last Wednesday, so you'll probably be seeing him. And, yes,
In the training, did they tell you how to prepare to go to a hearing?
yes, in fact, we were told before we went there are certain protocols when you go, and you need to adhere to them. One of them was no blue jeans. Absolutely flat out, don't even think about it. No blue jeans. It is business attire, and you need to look professional. You're not painting your house that day, so get out of your grubbies, and it's a business attire, and it's absolutely no blue jeans.
Just, go ahead.
And write your speech out ahead of time and email it or send it in ahead of time?
Definitely, if you can type it up and you give it and then hand it to them, or hand it to them first and give it. That way they've got it when you leave.
And one of the biggest ways you can support these legislators when they're running for election, if you could just tell them, hey, I can put 10 signs in my neighborhood, they'll always remember.
On all my properties.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all your properties.
yeah. That is very big to them, and it's something that we don't think about, but if you give them permission, or if you will get them and put them in your yards, that's a real big deal to them. And I never thought it was anything all that particular, but it is to them. So if you were willing to do that, they love it. That's a couple big bonuses, stars for you.
Absolutely. A couple of things real quick. We have an attorney from 1851 Constitution.
Yeah, Maurice
And
Thompson.
Maurice Thompson, and he is a terror when he fights with us on behalf of us. He's the one that put a stop to Oakwood having pre-sale inspections, interior and exterior. And to the point we won the case, and the city of Oakwood have to return 6 years worth of inspection fees to the people that paid.
He's done that over a couple of times over the state. There was another one in Marietta,
Yeah.
or Portsmouth, was it?
Boston was one of them.
You
Yes.
basically found it unconstitutional.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
He'll find a way why. This is sometimes these cities get carried away because they got the charter on them.
You were going in their house without a warrant for no reason.
And the one on Portsmouth, it was found unconstitutional because it was an invasion of the tenants'
Yeah.
rights, not
Yeah.
only the landlords.
And what Maurice does is a little bit different. He won't take a case until it is already a law. And he only does it in federal court, so no matter what the outcome is, it's federal throughout. So it can't just be that county or that area. It's a federal decree.
Just for example, West Carrollton had a bright idea. They wanted to do interior and exterior inspections for the landlords only, West Carrollton. It took us 18 months. We turned them around, where they only do exterior now, and we work with them. First, we're 180 degrees apart. And by the time we got done 4 meetings, 18 months, they would listen to us.
They love us now.
Right.
They absolutely love us.
Is this for the better of the city?
Yeah.
It's for the better, it's
for our clients, the
exterior,
city.
and it's only 3 years, it's every 3 years, and it has helped. It has helped. They wanted to be able to drive up and down the streets and see pretty homes. It has helped.
And then when we won the Oakwood case, Huber Heights, that was doing exterior inspections, pre-sale, they voluntarily decided they're going to quit doing it. Don't you think that's a win?
Sure.
Yeah.
We got 3 more cities, Union, Englewood, and Dayton. We're working on them. They will probably turn our way too. So that's the beauty of legislation.
Okay, we got a question?
Yes, is OREIA have any type of legislation that they're working on as far as emotional support animals and the abuse that is going on there against landlords with tenants being able to go online and for $100, $150 be able to get a certificate, a letter from a psychologist in Arizona, which just happened to us.
Have you talked, is your property here in Montgomery County?
Yes.
Okay, talk to Miami Valley Fair Housing. John Zimmerman is the guy's name. Call him up and talk to John. He is excellent with working around that.
And then he'll tell you what is acceptable, what is not. Something you get from the internet for $39.99
Because he feels
is not
very
good.
strongly about those kinds of situations.
But from what I understand, like I said, it just happened recently to us. And when I interviewed the girl over the phone, I asked her if she had any pets, and she said no, but I'd like to, my friend has getting a puppy, a dog is having puppies, and I'd like to get one. I said, well, we don't allow dogs. And she said, well, that's okay. And then 3 weeks later, she moved in, signed the lease, and 5 days later, we got the, the letter, blah, blah, blah. But I sent it to my son, who lives in Kentucky, and he has rental property. He sent it to a lawyer friend in Kentucky, Lexington, who works with their apartment association and all that type of stuff, evictions, the whole 9 yards. And he said to my son, this would not have happened in Kentucky because we have legislation to protect landlords against that. So I started doing research, and they just recently passed a law last summer and also then amended it, that if you are writing these letters, you actually have to have an active practice within the state. And also they've made it a crime. To have a fraudulent use of assistant animals is a criminal offense with up to a $1,000 penalty, and that can be on the person that's, wanting to get it, and also the person that's writing the letter. So from what I understand, we have to go by the federal guidelines with ADA and all that kind of stuff. And we don't actually have anything here in Ohio legislative-wise to protect us.
I know the Miami Valley Fair Housing and John Zimmerman has been very active against that type of
Abuse.
fraudulent activity.
Right.
And I'm sure he can help you with that.
Well,
They've been very aggressive with those types of people that do that.
if any of you come across any such case, contact Tim, the president, or myself, or Marcia. We'll put you in touch with the right people to get the right, guidance, because you don't want to do anything that's going to hurt you. So just keep in mind, don't do anything until you get in touch with us. We'll put you in touch with the right people.
Okay. Anybody got
Any other questions?
Scott?
Yes, I have a question for you. My question is, how much does having a well-funded state organization like OREIA matter in affecting changes like we're talking about? Because I know that some states don't have a centralized organization like this, and some of the REIAs in those states don't feel it important.
I can't do that. I don't know if you were in the room when, Sham, we started about how many laws have we changed, OREIA's changed?
150, we put 150 bills from moving forward in the last 10 years.
That has saved us a ton of money. That's gotten tax rollbacks, taxes lowered. So we've done an awful lot. I don't know, I can't, at my fingertips, I cannot put a dollar sign on it. But it has saved a lot of people a lot of money.
And we stopped a lot of laws from coming this way because Toledo City Council decided in their wise decision that they are going to charge landlords to completely eradicate the lead in their houses at the cost of $12,000. We filed a lawsuit through Maurice and we won. And the city had to pay our attorney the entire fee. So that means the cities talk to each other. And if Dayton wants to do something like that, they talk to Toledo. So they don't go there.
It was unconstitutional.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you're treating rental property owners different from homeowners.
And that was even funny. It was landlords, but it wasn't Section 8. And
Exempted.
Section 8 was exempt.
Exempted.
Yeah. So we got that one kicked out, but it cost $35,000-$40,000 in legal fees.
And they had to return all that money.
Yeah, that when they lost, they had to pay it all back.
I got a certified letter from the city of Kettering saying that my street, which is owned, they told us, it's a private drive. It's kind of an alley, but it goes into the back of the yards, but there aren't houses behind it, just 2 backyards put up, and the street has 5 apartments, and those 5 apartments own this street. And Kettering said that we have to maintain it, repair it, and everything else, but basically it's a public street. Everyone drives up and down it, And in order for them to take it over, we were gonna have to pay $125,000 for them to take it over. And they said we had to repair it. So the guy down the street, he went to Home Depot, he bought bags of asphalt, threw it out, drove over it, and they went away. And I did the same thing, and I haven't heard anything from them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you come across a situation that you think you're being treated unfairly by a city, municipality, whatever, get in touch with us.
Well, particularly when the street of my property on the public street, there's potholes all over the place and they haven't fixed them.
Okay. Tim, I think we're about done.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.